Hi guys, and welcome here to this leak where today we're talking about anti-foaming agent. Now, anti-foaming agent is a food-safe silicon-based additive that we can place either in a fermentation or in a distillation to reduce or eliminate the formation of foam during those processes. Now, certain raw materials have a tendency to foam a lot, both in fermentation but especially during distillation. Two of these, for instance, is potatoes and molasses. Now, potato fermentations, anybody of you who've ever worked with potatoes, whether you're using potato mince or potato juice, you would be aware that it foams a lot during the fermentation process. I honestly cannot remember a single case where I've made a fermentation with potatoes, came back the next morning and the lid wasn't popped and there wasn't a mess on the table. It happens constantly. Now, a lot of people might say, but just leave more headspace. Now, headspace, those of you that's done training with us will know, refers to the amount of space we leave inside the fermentation vessel to allow for foaming and so forth during the fermentation process. And yes, that might be sufficient in normal circumstances. But when we're working with potatoes, the foaming becomes so extreme and the fibers and so forth that's pushed up, especially if you're working with potato mince, that you losing about, well, good 50% of your fermentation vessel if you have to leave enough headspace. So it's kind of a waste. You're wasting space, you're wasting production capacity. Therefore, we add the anti-foaming agent to stop the formation of foam during the fermentation process. Another place where we use it, as I mentioned, is in distillation. And this is specifically to do with molasses. Now, any of you who've ever distilled molasses would know that it foams very, very easily, and you very quickly find that that foam pushes up through the vapor chamber of your still and comes out the other side. It actually shoots out black. And there's many reasons for this. A lot of it has to do with the surface tension of the molasses, for instance, very thick, so it's build up of surface tension, builds up, and the next moment that pressure releases and everything shoots through the still. And now you've got the contaminated still, you've got a contaminated vapor path, and you've probably contaminated some of the distillate that already came out if you're catching it in a bucket or something. It's a mess. So you have to stop everything, clean everything out, start all over again. Not ideal. So with the anti-foaming agent, that does not happen. The foam cannot form during the distillation process, so you completely avoid that problem, you avoid that challenge. No mess, no fuss. A couple of other things you can do as well. If you don't have an anti-foaming agent handy, adding a teaspoon of butter, not margarine, doesn't work that well, but butter into the fermentation does break the surface tension. Olive oil as well does help as well. So that reduces the foam formation, leaving, again, additional headspace, but again, you lose production capacity. That would also assist you with it. And lastly, making sure that you clarify your fermentation prior to distillation. Doing a cold crashing or using cytosane and kisosol or bentonite, some kind of clarifying agent will assist you in reducing the foam formation during the distillation process of the molasses, because you're removing some of that sediment, some of those non-fermentable brick solids, which causes the foam. You're moving that out of the equation by clarifying your fermentation prior to it. But otherwise, anti-foaming agents is the answer. Will stop any foam from forming, and take it from me, don't add it to your wife's bubble bath. You won't be a hero anymore.